It's just barely. We'll give it a couple minutes. How's everybody doing today? Happy Friday. It is Friday, right?
Yes, first day.
Thank God it's San Japan. That's what I say. I don't know, I got here at like 1 o'clock this morning, so, and then I got up at 6, and I had to go to the gym. Because Xander Mobus told me, I was told that Xander Mobus would be at the gym at 8 o'clock this morning, and I got to the gym, and Xander Mobus wasn't there, so I had to work out by myself, because he's a jerk. God. Sure you can do a 1,000 push-ups. We're doing a thing, we're playing Dread at 7:30 in number 4 over here tonight, so maybe that'll be my thing, is I'll make him do 1,000 push-ups tonight. I'll challenge him to a push-up contest. He's getting swollen up, it's good. It's good. So what's up, guys? Hi. We'll go ahead and do the start. I thought I would actually have someone here like to moderate and ask questions, so I'll be the moderator. How are you doing today, Chris? Terrible. How are you doing today? Fantastic, actually. The weather's nice outside. I like the humidity. It's good. Great. Great. I love the humidity, too. Okay. Pamela, thanks. So hi. My name's Chris Hackney. I'm a voice actor. I see some Fire Emblem. Play the Dimitri in the Fire Emblems. Ghiaccio in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Kun in Tower of God. Yuito Sumeragi and Scarlet Nexus that just came out, which is on sale right now on Amazon for only $40. Plug, even though I don't get extra money for it. Why not? Yeah. So hi everybody. Don't be shy. I'm just a dude. The only person I'm ever going to yell at is me. So if you want to ask me a question, yell at me. That's cool. I love that I have no professors here. Thank you. I appreciate it. Were you the one that I saw earlier?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, hey,
I saw you and I was like, I didn't want to hold you down. I was like,
Then she's like, I should have took him down.
I was in the artist alley buying Dimitri prints. I found a couple prints and things. That's where I also got this, you can't see it, but this lanyard. The artist, I think, was Blue. Like when you walk in, their table's close to the wall. They have Final Fantasy 14 lanyards. So I got my Paladin lanyard from them. And I got a couple charms, and I got a Dimitri print. I'll go back in there, find some more fan art. That's what I want to do. Support artists.
I got a bunch of good ones in there too. I had to resist.
There's so many good artists in there, but not necessarily for like projects and stuff that I'm a fan of, but just the art itself. Like, holy shit! Pardon my language. I'm sorry. If you don't want me to cuss, just tell me to stop. And I won't. When I'm not around my kids, like it all comes out because around them I have to say, well, poo! Gosh darn it! Shucks! So I feel like here I'm with adults and I can be like, fuck yes. Let it all out. Sorry, you know what, you're right. I'll just save it for later. I'll drop all the F-bombs after 8 p.m. in the blue hour. I hope so. Please don't be mad at me. Please don't hate me. Okay. So yeah, come on up, ask questions. Let's talk. Let's have fun here. And then if you have like 6,000 questions, that's cool. We'll just go around and around. That's cool. How you doing?
Hi. Maybe this is kind of a boring question, but before you were involved in Three Houses, like how knowledgeable were you about Fire Emblem, and were you surprised by how popular Three Houses has been? Because not every game in the series has been very popular, but Three Houses is really popular.
Yeah. Like I got the GBA, the Fire Emblem from GBA. Back in the day, like I played that, and I always miss it. It's Path of Radiance on the GameCube. Like I played them. I like them. I like those tactical games. Like on PlayStation 1, like Tactics Ogre, Final Fantasy Tactics. I love playing like strategy games like that. So I was a fan. But yeah, outside of Japan, it's such a niche series. And then Three Houses blew up for whatever reason. Like honestly, I'm still surprised at how big it was. Because it's Fire Emblem. Like, yeah, it's big in Japan, kind of big in Europe a little bit, but in America, like, I don't really care. You know?
Yeah.
I assume it was because it basically turned into Persona and was husbando and waifu dating simulator, but also awesome strategy. So it's like, we get the two things that I love? So I was like super surprised, because I also like, because I played Bowie in Shadows of Valentia, which like, it did, I was surprised at that, surprisingly like that did really well for a DS game. So I'm glad that Fire Emblem is like kind of picking up speed, and I'm hoping that maybe since Three Houses did well, maybe that'll encourage Nintendo to be like, okay, we need to invest more in worldwide localization for more Fire Emblem. Like bring more of them back. Like was the Shadow of the Dragon just got the release on the Switch? I'm still mad that it's not on an actual cartridge and the limited edition is just a box with a code, but whatever, it's something.
Yeah, no, just two more things. One, I hate how rare SRPGs have become these days. Like, I grew up with Tactics Ogre, you know, that too, so I hate that. And Scarlet Nexus is really good, please buy it.
It is, thank you, it is. Like, I'll go ahead and gush on Scarlet Nexus for a second. Why not? So it's a really, if you haven't played it, it's for all the major stuff, including PC, which Bamco putting it on PC is a great thing, because that never happens. But it's a really good action RPG if you haven't played it. If you like God Eater, it's similar to that vein, Code Vein, in that vein, Code Vein. But it's a really cool story. It's really interesting. Like it's got those character dynamics of, where you have to go through like dates with the other characters in your party, and you learn more about them. And it's really cool how you've got two protagonists whose stories interact, but you will see different stories. See, now there are children, now I can't swear. Gosh darn it. But yes, please buy Scarlet Nexus if you are so inclined. How are you?
Oh, good.
I love your scout room.
Oh, thanks. You want to see what your power looks
Does it power up?
Let me see. Vegeta says 8,000, was it?
That's what it was in the original manga, but then like in the Ocean dub, Brian Drummond, they made it 9,000, which is still iconic.
Oh, that's pretty good. But what was your experience with your first audition for voice acting?
My first audition?
Yeah, what was that like?
Well, so like, I started off doing voiceover online. Like I found like a friend, I was making dumb voices and stuff, and a friend was like, hey, there's like a whole online community that's all about voiceover and stuff. If you're ever interested, here's the thing. So I went to it, and I was like, yeah, okay, sure, why not? And I just auditioned, and my first ever project, my role was a radio drama called Genesis Avalon by Pendant Audio Productions, which I love. And I thought that was cool because like when I was a kid, I loved listening to like old-time radio dramas. Like we'd go on long car trips and we'd stop off at like Cracker Barrel, and Cracker Barrel sold cassettes of the old stuff like The Shadows and everything. So I thought it was super cool getting to do that. My first like audition, once I like professional audition that I booked here in LA, like I was so super nervous. Like I was like, you want professional people for this? I'm just some jerk who makes funny voices from the internet. I don't know if I can. And it was weird. Like it still is like nerve-wracking to an extent because I get auditions for stuff that like I'm a big fan of, and even if it's under a code name, I'm like, I know what you are. You can't fool. That's not Mark. That's not who that is. I know who that character is. But it's still kind of nerve-wracking. And like, I think the most nerve-wracking I'd ever been is where I had my first callback for an animated series that ended up going to Nickelodeon. And it was really like, oh my God, like, because I'd already like they liked the audition enough to where they brought me back in a second time with the actual director and everything. So I'm like, oh God, what am I supposed to do the same thing? Am I supposed to do a different thing? I don't know. It freaked me out. The role of it eventually went to Robbie David, so that's a fun story. But yeah, and it's still nice to get like those butterflies. Like I said, with some things with him, I'm like a big fan of the company or like a series. I think that's a good thing to still like kind of seize up a little at it. Makes it more interesting.
Right on. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey,
Touching upon the online, I hear myself. Anyway,
echo, echo.
yeah, touching upon the online space for voice acting, amateur voice acting. I know a lot of people are doing that, and they're looking to break into doing like video games, anime, the things that they love, the media that they love. Do you ever, like, when you were navigating the amateur space, were you like considering going to be a professional at any point? And also, like, how did you navigate, were there certain things that you wouldn't take just because you were like worried that would like bar you from doing other roles because it was like, too, what's the word? It's an R word, I can't remember what it is. Hold on.
You're good.
Basically, are there any like, is there anything that you wouldn't do because you were worried it would affect like your future in doing this thing,
So like I said, when I started out, I had no intention of ever honestly making a career out of it. Being in LA in general was just kind of an accident that happened. Like we were talking beforehand, and like I'm from Florida. My ex was from Los Angeles. She moved to Florida with me. We were together, and she was like, I really hate Florida. Florida sucks. LA has everything. I'm gonna move back to LA. So we should go to LA. So I'm like, okay, we'll go to LA, I guess. And so I went to LA, and then once I was there, I'm like, oh, well, I mean, they've got these classes, and like there's the studios are here. I could start, just see what happened. And I started just taking classes, and it was just kind of a wild ride from there. And that's what you should just do.
Yeah. Do you feel like there are any like amateur roles that you did that'll ever come back to haunt you? They're like dug up from the grave?
You know what? No, because the only thing that I feel like is ever going to be brought up and still haunts me to this day is a professional role. The amateur stuff, no, I had fun. Like I said, I mentioned the Genesis Avalon audio drama, and there's another season of it coming. Finally, after all these years, and I'm going to come back as my character because I genuinely just love it. I love the story, and I love Kat, the creator. So I'm going to do it again. But like the only thing, when I started, I was like, look, I just want work, go and experience, and as long as it pays well enough, I'm like, yeah, let's do it, have fun. The only thing where today I'm like, I'm never going to do one of those again is Testament of Sister New Devil. Not going to do a show like that again.
Yeah.
Like, it was fun, I had fun, but now I look back and I'm like, do I want to be in that? Certainly interesting hearing all of my female friends making those kinds of noises in my headphones for hours on end. Over, and over. Yeah.
Cool.
So that one's good.
Well, thanks for that.
Like take 56, Chris.
You have no idea. I made poor Xanthi win, like almost fall over in the booth because of that show. So like they weren't. We were doing pickups where we would have to like re-record certain dialogue, or they missed something and we have to put it in. And I had just been in there, and we were making a joke about noises and stuff, and I just went in the middle of my recording, and the engineer, being who he is, captured the audio and saved it, and he started futzing around with it while we were talking in between, and he like really made it like low and garbled and resonant, so it's this horrible monstrous like sound. And when you're doing anime, to picture, there's these 3 beeps, and then you come in on what would be the imaginary 4th beep. So poor Xanthi, she's in one room, we're watching on camera, I can see her with her headphones, she's recording, I hear beep, 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 and on the 4th beep, the engineer plays my audio recording of that noise just going, and poor Xanthi just falls over, like almost on her butt, because she wasn't expecting it, we just died laughing. Wendy Lee was directing, and she was dying too, it was great. Anyway, hi.
Hi. So, what has been your favorite or joke or meme within the Fire Emblem community?
Sorry, sorry.
Okay, so what has been your favorite joke or meme within the Fire Emblem community?
Favorite joke or meme? I don't know. I love the fact that I am the CEO of Dimulef. I appreciate that very much. I do. I'll be honest. I'm getting just a tiny bit tired of being told not to eat the weeds. Just a teeny. It was funny. It was funny the first like 60 times. Not so much anymore. But poor Ben Lovely, he still gives it to me every time. Every time. Like, I love you too, buddy. We play D&D together, and every time. Oh, that's good.
Just don't eat the weeds, you know?
Get it? I am just saying. No.
Hi, Chris.
No, Khoi, no.
Can I have your watch, Chris?
No, you may not have my watch, Khoi. This is Khoi Dao, everybody, if you don't know. He's a voice actor, and he's also trouble.
Can I have your watch, Chris? No. What about your water bottle?
You know, no.
Can I sit in your lap?
Do you want to sit in my lap?
Can I?
Yes, you may. You already sat in my lap once today.
All right.
By the way, Khoi, I found this fantastic. Khoi, we did Kuroko's basketball. We did Kuroko's basketball. You remember writing that?
Oopsie poopsie.
We put the line in the show, oopsie poopsie, and in the script there was a note from Khoi that said, if you change this line, I will quit.
And
They kept the line, but because I wanted to see if they would keep the line, so I took a picture of the script and I had it with me. I'm going to tell you in your thing earlier.
thank you.
Yeah, buddy.
How long can I stay here?
How long do you want to stay?
Can I have your watch?
No, you can't have my watch.
Give Khoi your watch. Give Khoi your watch. Give Khoi your watch.
I'm going to give Khoi a watch. I heard that.
Thank you.
No.
You kind of got started.
No, shut up.
Before I arrested it for your sake. Give me your watch.
You can have my heart. How's that?
Okay.
Don't heart.
Does anyone else have any other questions? How does he do this?
I don't think anyone can top that.
You're just going to be in my lap the whole time.
That depends on
No, you can't have him. Get out of here.
Question.
Get out.
Okay, bye.
Oh, wait, real quick. I was gonna ask if you can do like a Dragon Ball Z fusion voice.
Khoi, you have to fuse.
What?
Oh, I was gonna ask if you two could do like a Dragon Ball Z fusion
Oh, you want us
voice.
to fuse?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. We'll be... LaCroix?
Can you do the dance?
I don't know the dance.
You're not getting my. That's the only way he's going to get my
Fuse
watch.
it. I don't know. Then which one goes up?
Right?
Ah, you did it backwards.
I did that. Oh, that's right. Fuse forwards and then
Fuse.
pop, right?
Yeah.
I just know the ending pose.
Oh, you just touch
Okay.
fingers.
Yeah. Okay, bye for real.
Yeah, bye. Go. Not getting my watch.
Damn it.
Well, buy your own watch.
Okay.
I'm a terrible father, man. That's okay. He deserves it. Shut up. Go to your room. Hey.
So most people that have played through the Blue Lions path know that Dimitri goes through a pretty dark turn on the second phase. And so I was curious how much you were told of that, or how difficult it might have been to like say those lines with all the seriousness that you needed to, especially like some of those towards the like lower points.
Like, I knew, I kind of had an idea where the character was going to go, because in the audition for Dimitri, like I forget the exact line, but the last line is like him kind of like breaking. He's like having this conversation, and then just, I don't think it's from the actual, it was used in the actual game, if I remember. It's like he's talking, and like the picture in my mind was him like just trying to hold it together, and then all of a sudden it's like this bang against the table, like, no! So I kind of had an idea of where it was going, and we talked about it a little bit. But like it was all serious and important to me because that Dimitri is me. That's who I was. It's been like a year recording the game, I think, something like that. So like it was all serious to me, but I kind of like went on the journey with him the whole time. Like I wasn't given like the script or anything ahead of time. It was just you come in, boom, it's popped up on the screen for me to read, and I'd be able to see like a couple lines ahead, and I could see who I'm talking to and the dialogue I'm interacting with. But that's about it. So it's a matter of like, what am I really feeling in this moment? Why am I doing this? And to me, that helps make it more genuine and real and grounded. Because at the end of the day, yeah, it's kind of like overly dramatic, Shakespearean sort of stuff. But this is still a real person. These are real feelings. His real father died. For him, his real father died. And like all my friends, I've lost so many people, and I'm haunted by these things, and I'm really feeling these things at all time. So it was hard dealing with it sometimes. Like I had to take a break in between, like just to take a breather and like get out of that. But I didn't think it was as hard or challenging really, because I like personally when it comes to acting, I just try to approach everything as they're a real person, they're really feeling these things, so it has to come from a real place in here, you know. You can't just like act, I guess that's a bad word to use, but like you can't act like you're feeling these things, you have to actually feel these things.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello, there's a fly. I'm gonna try and catch it like Jojo.
Hello.
Hi there.
Your request.
A request?
Yeah.
Maybe. What's the request?
You say kill every last one of them?
Okay, I can do that. But I don't want to do it in the mic, I'm gonna blow shit. Kill every last one of them! I didn't want to do it into your face. Sorry.
Everyone outside.
Do you remember what character interaction is your favorite in Fire Emblem, like between your character and another character?
I mean, I've had a couple. I mean, like, honestly, I guess it's a character interaction, like everything, starting with Rodrigue Gronder, and then everything after that. Obviously, I feel like that's my favorite. As far as, like, support conversation, I still love Aloysius. Because when we were doing them, like, we were like, okay, so he's just like, you know, being nice and laughing at these jokes. I'm like, but what if he actually liked the jokes? But what if he did? And that's kind of how we played it. And I know, like, because sometimes we get to hear the original Japanese first, and then we'll do our thing. I didn't hear any of the Japanese, so I had no idea. So we just kind of like went with it. But in the Japanese, he's very much a, ha, 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 yeah, that's so funny. Always, no, it's terrible. And I think it's funnier the fact that I'm like, that was really good because it's so bad, it's good, buddy. Good jokes. Good dad jokes. I appreciate you. Those are my favorites. And sad girl hours with Marianne. She's good. I like her. Come on up, guys. I promise I'm not as crazy as I look. Just because I've only had like 3 hours of sleep doesn't mean anything. It's fine.
What was the hardest line you have to read?
The hardest line? Like in anything ever?
Pretty much, yeah.
You know, I think like it took me. It was really hard to do the. If you've seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure with Ghiaccio, the Venice rant, because like it's so many words, and typically like they're broken up into individual like lines. You record a line. But when I was working with Tony on that, I was like, can we just do the whole thing? That way it has like a through line. It makes more sense. It's not just like pieces of a line. So trying to wrap I have to try and wrap my brain around making all of my mouth fit in his mouth, still act like I'm really PO'd, it's children in the room, about the pronunciation of Venezia. And like getting it, making sure that I could breathe and actually say all of the things at the same time. Like it was just a lot going on. That was the hardest, but it was also like the most fun. Just getting to let it out.
Right on. All right.
Do you have, with having a family and working and traveling all the time, do you have any hobbies that you actually like to enjoy, collecting, doing certain things?
Let me ask you a question. Did you discover a new recipe?
I agree with that.
I discovered a new recipe! Sorry, I had to.
I found a new recipe.
There's a panel tomorrow for like beginning intro to Gunpla. I like building Gundam models.
Okay, cool.
I don't have a whole lot of time for it at the moment, but I've been doing that since high school or college when Gundam Wing came out, because like Toys R Us of all places, they first started selling the Gundam model kits, which just like blew my mind. And they're so easy to put together, but you can put so much detail into them. So it takes like exactly as much time as you want to put into it. Outside of that, just like I try to game as much as I can, being in games, working on stuff. I love music and listening to different types. My biggest things right now, like the thing that I do for me is working out. Like that's just for mental health. That's the thing that I take the time out of the day to try and take care of myself.
Yeah.
Because that's my catharsis at the moment. And then after I'm all done with that, I play Final Fantasy 14.
That's cool.
And Walker's November. It's coming. We're going to the moon, people.
Hi, Chris.
Hey.
I had a very simple question. Not too long ago, I just recently found out that you were the voice of Illumi in Hunter x Hunter. And I basically just wanted to ask, what was your favorite part about voicing him?
Oh, man, Illumi. I think my favorite part, even though it was like one of the last things we did, is like the psychotic laugh scene where Gon's power is released, during the healing ceremony thing. Like, I call it my Joker laugh, where it's like, this power, I want this power. He just needs it so much. Because we had to do 2 takes where I'm like talking over it, and then like, I think it's literally like a minute and a half of me just like maniacally laughing, which was fantastic. I loved it. But he has a bunch of cool scenes. Like, they shouldn't be funny and cool, but they are to me. Like when the Bloodlust gets released, like when Keith's character, oh my god, I'm blanking.
Hisoka?
Yes, when Hisoka, he's like, if I see Killua, and he like goes nuts. And his response to that is like, oh, they sent some, oops, well, damn. Like little moments like that are so much fun, because it's like so out of character. I love it. Like, it's been years since we did that, and it's still fresh in my mind. Because I love it. What else, dude? Any other questions? 4th time around, 5th time? 4th.
Hello again. You got any more details on the voice acting community as far as like getting in and like finding auditions and stuff? I'm sure there's probably like a Discord for it or something. But...
Yeah, so if you're interested in voiceover, like in the online community sort of way, Kira Buckland, if you don't already follow her, she has a Discord for all sorts of information and audition opportunities, both paid and unpaid, like just to like learn stuff. If you want to just learn and you don't necessarily want to jump right in and do a thing, but you just want to learn about stuff. D. Bradley Baker, who's voice of like every creature in the world and does, he's all of the clones in Bad Batch. He was number 2 on Kids Next Door. He has a website called iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. 100% recommend that.
Okay.
I haven't read their book, but Tara Platt and Yuri Lowenthal, they have a voiceover book, and I think she said that they have like a 10 years later version, the 2nd edition that's coming out, or it just came out. So that might be a good one too. But definitely Kira, her Discord, and then Dee's site.
What was the first ones again? Hang on, let me write that down real quick.
Oh, sweet pupper.
So her name was Kira?
Yeah, Kira Buckland. She's in everything. She's an amazing voice actor.
She used to be a guest here.
Right on.
I don't want to jinx it, I don't want to say it, but on a personal level as her friend, I really hope that she gets to be Jolene in Stone Ocean. I really hope so. I really hope for it.
Right on. Sorry, one more time. What was the second?
D. Bradley Baker's website, it's iwanttobeavoiceactor.com.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, Chris. So, I was just wondering, it's kind of more of like a deeper question, but you know how like with dub and that sort of thing, there's usually like a lot of like, I don't know, sub-elitists, I guess? So they kind of like hate on any sort of dub voice actor there is.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of wondering how you deal with that hate and just like, kind of like live with it, I guess?
I don't care. I genuinely don't care. Like, I watched a lot of subs when I was, like when I was a young fan in the 90s, we didn't have Crunchyroll, we didn't have Funimation or anything. Like, I traded fan sub tapes with people, in order to watch stuff. Like, I was so excited when I finally got the full set of Violinist of Hamlin on fan subs. Like, if that's your way to watch it, if that's the way you prefer it, awesome. If you prefer, some people can't watch sub, it's like hard for them to read as fast and you want to hear the dub, great, then do it. I think that the dub is great because it really does localize. Although subs are starting to do more and more like true localization versus just straight translation. Because there are some subs that you watch that it's like, this is literally what it means, so you don't get as much context. So I think it can actually be a little bit harder for you to understand. But whatever way you want to watch it, you want to watch it sub, awesome. You want to watch it dub, awesome. I don't care. Watch anime, have fun. Just don't be a dick. It's my rule in life. Like, don't be a dick. If someone wants to watch it sub, fantastic. I hope you enjoy the sub. You hated my dub, that's fine. Go ahead and watch the sub. You love the dub, fantastic. Thank you. And the subs also still exist. Who cares? Just enjoy stuff. Be happy. That's my opinion.
Oh yeah, and can I ask a second question?
Yeah, ask as many you want.
So, I just really like your acting style and just the way you just make everything sound so genuine and that sort of thing. Like, you really get into character. So how do you really get into the mind of a character? If you get what I mean.
Yeah, so for me, like I was saying before when I was talking about Dimitri, with these real feelings, these real things. We all have experienced all of these different things on some level, at some point in our lives. We've all been really, really happy about something. We've all been really, really sad about something. We've all probably lost someone that we love. We've all been in love. We've all experienced that first joy of when you first discover something new, like a new band or a piece of art or something. So you already have experienced those things. You know what that feeling is. And to me, it's just a matter of, these are real people, so they have those feelings too. So it's just a matter of, well, how would I feel about that? And that's how it is. For one of my favorite people to learn from with acting was Richard Horvitz, who's the voice of Zim, Raz, and Psychonauts and Psychonauts 2, and a bunch of other stuff. He's got his 5 steps, and the very first one is I am. And that's really the crux of the whole thing. It's not, it's not Dimitri it's not Gyatso it's I am. Why am I upset about those things? Why my father, Lambert, died. I am mad that Venezia is pronounced incorrectly. I'm mad, I'm in the situation where I have to kill these guys and I can't do it. And I'm frustrated. And that's where you have to be. Because there's this surface level acting where everyone's, when you talk to someone who, you know how it should sound, but that's not really how you feel. So there's a difference. And you can immediately tell the difference between those two. So it's just about being honest. That's what it is to me.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Your baby's so sweet and beautiful.
Oh,
I love them.
thank you. Her name's Sakari.
Sakari?
Yes.
What a pretty name. Sweet baby.
Thank you.
Come on, talk to me. Or I'll just sit here and I'll do a dance. Yes! Hi!
Hi. So when you're going to voice a new role, do you watch the sub and listen to the Japanese cast and kind of take tics from that or anything?
If it's an anime thing, I will. A lot of times when I get an audition for like anime, sometimes the show will be out, or it won't be. I'll use like Tower of God for example. I didn't have anything for Tower of God. They had released a trailer for it, I think a few months before we started doing the show, when I got the audition. So I was able to hear like 5 seconds of Ku, and that was it. So I just had to you have to look at them and the way someone holds themselves, their poise, their mannerisms, that sly turn of the head, that little smirk. You're like, okay, these are things that I know I can infer about them as a person, and it's a matter of then trying to come up with it from there. Or if I do sometimes I'll get an actual reference video, here's the section of the show, and I can see what's happening. So then it is a little bit better. So I can have some more context. I love having context. I love getting pictures. Descriptions can help, not necessarily if it's a page and a half. I don't need all of that. You give me a few lines, some basics, who they are, their backstory, who is this person to them, why are they doing this thing. That's what I need. But I feel like it doesn't necessarily change how I audition depending on it. Maybe it's a little bit easier if I see the actual picture because there's a difference between being angry and attacking someone, but you're kind of a badass, so it's a low energy, versus I'm pissed off at you, PO'd at you. I tried. And you killed my father sort of thing, and I'm just gonna release all my anger at you. So it's nice to have that context, but that's what It Take Two is also about.
Another thing is whenever, do you watch anime or play games stuff, and when you hear your fellow coworkers and friends in the industry, is it kind of weird? Is it kind of fun to hear them be like, oh, I know that person, I recognize their voice in this role?
It's super weird.
I bet.
Hearing me in anything is super weird. I just started playing Three Houses this year because for the longest time it was just very difficult to hear myself. But it's so cool, to know these people, and I'm oh yeah, that's Khoi, that's Andrea, that's Lucian, that's Erica. That's great. Especially for with Lucian and Erica, it's very weird for me because we all used to live together. They were my roommates along with Mark Allen Jr., who does a lot of work with Funimation now. So hearing them and stuff, I'm you used to be in the bedroom next to me. I made pasta with you.
Okay, yeah, no, that's
and we still hang out, they're still my friends, so that's why it's weird, but it's cool because I get to see all my friends living their dreams and being happy, because there's so many people they've been trying to do this for so many years and they're finally getting there. And I'm just yes, do it, get it.
Right.
So it's awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you. What's up?
Hi, Chris. I actually have 2 questions. The first one, I was kind of curious. Have you ever gotten so far into a character where maybe one of the sound developers, designers, or maybe other VAs that are in the room with you, if y'all happen to record with multiple people in one room, have you ever gotten so deep in the character at one point where maybe someone had to look at you and be like, Chris, are you good?
Not quite that deep, but with Dimitri, I was saying before, after some emotional stuff, I would ask hey, can we take 10 real quick, just so I could calm it down and center myself a little bit, because I said, for me, the real feelings, the real things. So when I'm sitting there and I'm it's an emotional scene and I'm crying and getting choked up, I'm crying and getting choked up. So I need to calm down afterwards, but it's not to the point where I know there's some actors who are very very method and become their characters. That's too much. I think I can't go to that kind of place, but it does affect me. So, but I will have them check on me. I was that was so good. Are you good? Are you okay? take 5. Let's pet the puppy instead. Bless studios that have a dog. Bless them. Bless them.
Okay. And then the second question, I play a lot of League of Legends. I'm not sure if you do as well, but
I haven't. I played it a long time ago. I'm not big on MOBAs, like just PC, just computer gaming in general. But yeah.
and I know there's a ton of well, there's like I think 156 champions at this point in the game right now. So I'm thinking, at some point, Chris might end up becoming the voice of a character of a future champion in that game. So I kind of wanted to ask, did you have maybe like an ideal character? Like what would your champion be like in League of Legends, based on whatever knowledge you have of the game?
I mean, honestly, if I was lucky enough to get to voice a champion, I would want him to be like a really super cool badass that everybody fell in love with. He's like super handsome, barely has to work in order to destroy everyone on the field. I'm just being honest. But I'd probably end up voicing like some crazy little lunatic, like monster. You know, like I think there was one who was like a goblin who rides on something else.
Clay?
I think that's right. He's kind of like
He's like a very short champion.
Yeah.
He's like a dragon-like thing.
Yeah. Like I feel like that's what I would end up voicing. But honestly, like I'm just happy to work and do stuff. It's fun to me. I don't care. Like, and I feel like being able to do that kind of like breadth of character is fun and challenging. You know, there's a big difference between like Dimitri over here and like Giacchio over here, but I still did them. And that's the fun, is like I get to like discover and be these people and try to craft what that is along the way. Like especially like for games and animation where they're creating it to you and you're not having to go off of something else. Like I really do get to create and have fun with the characters. Like so I'm happy to do whatever. If they want me to be honest, if they put me in the game, I'm happy. I'm happy to work. And I'll have fun with it either way, and hopefully people will enjoy it. And if they don't, that's okay too. That's okay. I have fun.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's up, guys?
Well,
Professor!
Hello. Hi. Oh no, I forgot.
Oh, crap.
I didn't come prepared for this class.
That's okay.
I'm gonna turn it back to me. I need tea time.
Chamomile fixes everything.
Everything, always. Oh, that's what it was. I was gonna ask if you could choose a franchise that you want to be in. Like, what character, what franchise would you want to like handpick? If that makes sense. Is it there?
So, in case you can't see it, this is my backpack. It's Legend of Zelda. My wristband here, it's Zelda, got the Triforce on it. My wedding ring has the inscription on the inside, "It's dangerous to go alone."
Oh, that's cool.
My wallet. Can you tell?
Yes, that's perfect.
Like I said before, I'm whatever it is, I'm happy to work. Like, I'm gonna have fun. I love doing voiceover. It makes me happy, so I don't care. But like being in a Zelda project would mean a lot to me because there are 2 series that mean the most to me, and I would love to be a part of as far as video games go. Legend of Zelda and Final Fantasy. I've gotten to be a little bit like smaller characters in like Final Fantasy VII, which was really cool. But both Legend of Zelda and Final Fantasy are very important to me, like as a person, because like Legend of Zelda, that was my family time as a kid. Like when the Nintendo came out, my dad, my mom, we all fell in love with it, and like Zelda was the game that we all kind of gravitated towards. So my dad, who has to have the newest and best thing, he decided to buy 3 NESs when it first came out. And we got 3 copies of Legend of Zelda for each of them. And there was one in their bedroom, and one in the living room, and there was one in my room. And so we all played together, and like we would try to see who could beat the game first. If we got stuck, like, oh, there's actually a hidden door over there. Go bomb this part of the map, upper location here. And there's actually a hidden place there to go get an extra heart piece. And we do that kind of stuff. And my dad, so that's like my memory from childhood, is playing the game with my parents, like us talking to each other.
That's so sweet.
And my dad was the one who actually beat it first before everybody, because you played the game through, and then you could replay it, and they moved all of the dungeons around. And he was the one who did both ways first. So my mom and I went to Toys R Us. We were at Toys R Us one day. Boy, there's a throwback now. And they had this like little PVC plastic Zelda statue, which is like Link with like a bow like this, and he's like shooting at one of the bats. So I got that for my dad, and that was his trophy for being the one in the family who beat the game first. So that it means a lot to me. And then Final Fantasy, because I've been playing since the very first Final Fantasy by accident. Because Toys R Us again, we were at Toys R Us, and I asked my mom if I could have a video game. She's like, okay, you can have a video game, but when you play it, you're learning to read, so I want you to read to me all the stuff in the video game. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, no problem.
That's how I learned.
And I saw this game that looked super cool because it had like an axe and a sword on the cover, and this medieval thing. I'm like, I want that one. It was Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy taught me to read. So I read Final Fantasy to my mom as I played it. And so it was always important to me, and I loved it. I played all of the games and everything. So like those just on a personal level are very important.
Thank you. That's so sweet. I'm like, oh, good memories.
Good memories. Hello. Hi.
As someone who's been looking to somehow get their hands onto the voice acting community somehow, either through just like small projects, and as someone who is absolutely terrified to put themselves out there, do you have any tips for someone like me who has not put together really any material to put themselves to people who need voice actors?
So my suggestion would be getting the experience first before like throwing yourself out there. You don't get a second chance at a first impression. So there's a lot of people, like I know, there's a lot of people that will kind of take advantage of you as far as like, hey, pay for this like 6-week course and we'll make you a voiceover demo at the end of it. It's garbage. Don't do that. Like, take classes and learn. And as far as finding opportunities online, like I was saying before, here at Buckland, they have like a Discord server where they talk voiceover and voice acting help with other people. And I believe they do projects and stuff in there as far as like giving opportunities for free stuff. You can find stuff online. Like I used to go onto a forum and do stuff. As far as like, I mentioned audio drama earlier. Pendant Productions, they do audio dramas. They do like original stuff. They do Shakespeare. They do a bunch of different things. And you can audition. Just have an opportunity. The more you do it, the better you'll be at it. And then eventually down the road, like, that's when you can, I hate to say it, but it's like networking is a thing. But to me, it's just like making friends. Just finding other people who are interested in what you're interested in. You become friends, and you guys just like grow together. And that's like, because like that's how I feel I've done it. Like having friends like Lucia Dodge and Erica Mendez and Laura Post. Just like having them around me, we all have fun, we talk together, but we've all helped each other navigate. I especially feel like they've helped me a lot to kind of navigate and like lift me up to where I am now. So I think that's the most important thing, is just getting out there. Don't do something before you're really ready to do it, but have fun. And honestly, as far as not feeling comfortable getting out there, I totally get it. That's why I talk behind one of these and I don't get in front of a camera.
It's understandable. I used to do theater and now I don't anymore.
I can't do theater. I refuse to be on camera. This is a face for radio. It just terrifies me. So,
thank you.
Hello, your outfit's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. So, you're talking about Legend of Zelda. What's your favorite game besides the first one?
Link to the Past. It is objectively the best in Zelda. Breath of the Wild is probably number 2. Like, they're very close. Links to the Past will always be very important to me. But Breath of the Wild was an amazing game. Wind Waker doesn't get nearly as much love as it deserves.
Yes, okay.
The DS and Game Boy games as well, like Oracle of Ages and Seasons, Spirit Tracks, fantastic. Phantom Hourglass. I know I'm like in the minority on this one, but Ocarina of Time doesn't do as much for me. But let me say, the N64 version doesn't do as much for me. The DS version that they remade was very, very good because they fixed all of my issues that I had with the camera on the N64. Because that camera sucked. Sucked. All of the parts of the game were fantastic, but the fact that sometimes you couldn't see anything that was directly behind you. Anyway.
I just got excited when I heard you're a big fan of the series. I grew up on it too, so I'm just curious. Thank you.
I love it. I love Zelda. Everybody should play Zelda. Shout at me, it's okay. Professor!
Okay, which Final Fantasy 14 expansion is your favorite?
Shadowbringers.
Okay.
Easily. Like,
obviously.
It's so funny because, like, Heavensburg is absolutely fantastic. Like, pitch perfect. The story, the characters, the setting. Frickin' Isail, she gives up her, she's such a sad girl. I loved her. Stormblood was just kind of there. It was okay. Like, what were you? I don't even remember. Was that? Oh, that was the Omega. Was the right? That was the Omega quest line. Yeah, that one I felt was better than Alexander's endgame quests. But Shadowbringers is just absolutely pitch perfect. The character development, the story. Poor sad boy Ardbert, poor sad boy and itself. The soundtrack. Oh, I love it so much. Gunbreaker is fantastic. I can't wait to play Sage. I want to heal somebody with my pods. It looks like a Gundam and you heal with the Gundam pods. It's fantastic.
Very cool.
Hello. That's just FYI, I'm just looking like we got like 10 minutes just to have fun. So okay. Come on.
With Fire Emblem with Dimitri, did you, before and after, the Dimitri goes into the dark place that was mentioned before, did you voice him differently, like before, during, and after,
Yeah. So, one there was a different mindset. Because, it was very, very prim and proper, talked sort of in the academy phase. And then it just slowly breaks down and he loses that control. And I wanted that to come out in the voice. And after the time skip, I wanted him to be darker and lower because I imagine him he went insane because of everything. When he snapped, because of the Flame Emperor, just lost it. So I could, for me, I saw him, for those 5 years, just either screaming or yelling or being guttural at everything and everyone. And if you've ever, yelled for a long period of time, you know how your voice is just gets kind of... So I imagine, that would just be his voice. He had been doing all of that for so long that his voice just slowly fell lower and deeper until it got there. And then once he came back, the pitch of the voice didn't change because he'd still gone through all this stuff, but he had more of that original mindset of okay, I've started to put the pieces of me back together, and we're going to build on that now.
So kind of the attitude from before the time skip versus
Yeah, it's like the two extremes. There's the prim and proper boy who has all of these issues and is just trying to hold them in. The feral witch has let loose of everything, and then coming together and meet in the middle where you're still you as a person, but you take the best of both worlds and you're just trying to build yourself back up into a new person. So it's just trying to marry all of that together.
Okay.
If that makes sense, I think it did.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Long time no see.
I had another question. Since you said you were a big fan of Legend of Zelda, Final Fantasy, I know some people recommend that you don't consider doing this as it can potentially make you hate your favorite games, but would you ever consider speed running a Zelda or Final Fantasy game?
Honestly, no. But not because I feel it'll make me hate the game. It's just because when I play a game, I want to experience all of that stuff. Like, I want to do all of the side quests. I want to go talk to all of the NPCs. I want to do all these things. And that's the reason that I play, like Fire Emblem, when I play it on casual, because I don't want to lose anybody, because the reason I'm playing it is for the story, and that's the characters and their relationships. So if anybody dies, I lose that character and whatever relationships come from it, you know? So it's not that I wouldn't do it because I'm like, oh God, it's work at this point. It's because that's just not how I personally experience a game. You know, video games are just playable books to me. It's a playable story, and I want to experience everything. That's me.
Okay.
Thanks. Hey.
Hello. Hey, I'm a big Gundam fan, and could I hear Atra's voice? You play Atra, right?
Yeah. In the
I don't see it.
Not the old school one, which still exists, but yeah, the new one. Athrun was Kira. We used to be friends, Kira. What happened to you? Athrun-sama. Justice, taking off!
Very nice. One more. Could I hear Gohan?
In Texas, of all places, you asked me about this. Why?
I'm not from Texas.
It's basically just me talking. It's just, hi, how's it going? That's literally all it is, just me talking.
Cool.
For those that don't know, they decided to do an English dub of Dragon Ball Super that was only released in Asia. Like Southeast Asia, like India, Indonesia, whatever. And I played Gohan in that. Kyle Hebert is fantastic. I love him. He's my Gohan. I will say that to the end of my days. He is my real Gohan. So I'm just putting it out there. What's up?
Hi. I have a friend who voice acts on YouTube, and the way he gets into character is by, this is his go-to move, by getting drunk. I want to know what your thoughts are on that.
I mean, it works for Rick and Morty, so. I mean, it's from my understanding, he goes in the booth and he's got a scotch there with him while he's playing Rick, so. Hey, if it works for you, if that's your character, if it loosens you up, go for it. Have fun. Have a Mai Tai, have a margarita, have some scotch on the rocks. Mai Tai.
I also have another one. When you're voice acting a character, do you ever feel like your voice just doesn't fit his look or anything like that?
I never feel like my voice fits anyone's look, but that's why I try to mold my voice to what I think that person would sound like. And I think that's part of one of the things I love about voiceover, because I find it, on a personal, emotional level, I find it hard to be me sometimes. So voiceover gives me this thing where I get to not be me. I can be the farthest thing from me, which that's fantastic for me on a bunch of levels. So that's why I feel like a lot of the characters that I play really don't sound that much like me. That's just me doing that, whether consciously or unconsciously.
Thank you.
Hey, what's your take on Venice being the global pronunciation of Venezia?
Why? Call the damn book Death in Venezia! It's not that hard! Are we not good enough? Learn a little Italian, Cortana, and call the thing what it's supposed to be!
Thank you, son.
Last one.
Hi there. I'm a huge fan of One Punch Man, and I brought up a question because there's been such confusion about season 3 even coming out, because there was a backlash from season 2. As a voice actor, do you ever get those circumstances where you love a a series, but then it gets canceled, or do you know ahead of time that there is going to be a next season of your characters and things like that?
Honestly, no. Like, it sucks when stuff like that happens. I mean, honestly, like, with One Punch Man, I didn't even know if Stinger would be back for season 2 or not. And they called me like, hey, you want to come back in for Stinger? I'm like, yes! I didn't know! Yes! And he's only there for a couple of minutes to get beat up by Greg Junk's character. But I don't know. Like, it makes me sad when something that I genuinely like, that we work on, gets canceled. Like, there's a show, this Lego Friends show that I worked on with Kira Buckland and Allegra Clark, and a bunch of other people, and Faye Mata and everybody. And there were 4 seasons of it. I think it's been canceled officially, but like, I only got to be in the first 3 seasons. They didn't even write my character in, even though I was like Faye's love interest. They didn't even write me in the 4th season. It made me sad, but you know, it just kind of is what it is. I just have to just kind of move on. I've always got those memories of those things, but they don't tell us ahead of time, unfortunately.
Thank you.
Well, it's 4 o'clock, guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you being here. There's going to be autographs at 4:30. I have this on the back of my card here. Yeah, 4:30 in
Next door.
2 and 3.
Next
right
door.
around the corner. So,
Next.
if you want, yes, thank you. Sorry, directions. That way. So if you want to come by for autographs, personal items, first one's free, and I've also got prints and stuff, so come on by. Otherwise, have fun. Thanks, guys.